The story begins with a serious-looking young man named Lu Feng, who is surrounded by strange, winged demon-like creatures in a ruined city. A digital status window pops up, showing that Lu Feng is only level 9, having no occupation or nickname yet, making him look like a complete beginner. Lu Feng always relied on his stronger teammates, the seniors, who constantly told everyone not to let the rookies die before them during their fights. These seniors, who look very powerful and are glowing with energy, stand ready to protect the newer members of their group. However, Lu Feng reveals a secret. It was actually his ultimate move every time that finished the fight and secured their win. Now, Lu Feng stands alone, tired and surrounded by the red demons, while a giant mechanical enemy is seen beneath him. He is seen actively fighting, using his sword against the smaller demons while a massive enemy looms nearby. Lu Feng tries to act casual, but others are starting to notice his unusual strength for a newcomer. Other fighters are shocked, whispering about a level 5 rookie apparently slaughtering a silver-winged giant, though Lu Feng insists he really is a newbie. The scene shifts to a dark, shadowy group of figures, perhaps his past companions, standing in what looks like heavy rain or falling ash. Lu Feng remembers those companions and drops a heavy truth. He has been repeating the exact same day for the last 3,000 years. The terrifying winged monsters continue to swarm, showing the danger of the dimension they are in. These adventures in another dimension have brought new hope to those who have awakened, and Lu Feng even learned skills like surgery during his endless time loop to help his friends. He is shown tending to an injured person in a hospital bed, demonstrating the practical skills he picked up over 3 millennia. Lu Feng's long repetition allowed him to master many things, including flying jets, hacking computers, and performing medical procedures. He also spent time strengthening his mind, seen here playing a complex board game, showing his dedication to gaining power. His teammates are struggling, shouting that the power of the monsters they face is way beyond what someone at the sea-level realm should handle. The constant danger means they are always near death, as shown when Lu Feng and a purple-haired girl are trapped by a horde of demons in an elevator shaft. They must face the evil beings who betrayed humanity, and the true identity of a certain enemy is about to be revealed. An enemy figure, cloaked in glowing red, stands over fallen comrades, revealed to be a demon. After living this loop for 3,000 years, Lu Feng has learned countless things, and the scene hints at a powerful move or return. A huge beam of light strikes down toward one of the massive red demons, suggesting Lu Feng is finally using his accumulated knowledge. Lu Feng is seen descending, while the purple-haired girl below him draws her pistols, ready for the next phase of the fight. Despite all his efforts and all the time passed, he always failed to save one specific lost companion. Now, realizing he has somehow reset and returned, Lu Feng wonders if he actually got another chance to redo the day. He checks a digital clock showing the time and date, confirming he is back at the start, ready to lead everyone better this time. He is seen with his fully assembled team of powerful allies, rushing into action inside what looks like a tunnel or broken structure. Lu Feng stands firm, determined to lead them on the journey to wipe out the shadow and win back their freedom. The chapter closes on Lu Feng, standing confidently with his sword, ready for the long-awaited fight to succeed. The fight is happening in a place called Dark Ruins City, where big, scary red monsters are attacking. 5 years ago, strange portals called gates suddenly appeared on Earth, letting people go into a shadow world to fight. The humans who entered these gates are called the Awakened Ones, and they get power, but they can die anytime they fight. A little girl named Magician Su Tao Tao is in big danger, about to be grabbed by one of the huge monsters who shouts a big no. A bright attack comes in fast, aiming right at the monster's claw. The strong light beam hits the monster hard, cutting through it. Swordswoman Liu Zhu tries to keep everyone safe, telling the little one not to be scared because they will get out alive. Liu Zhu mentions a problem. The more they kill, the more monsters keep appearing. Fighter Anya is very tired, saying her fatigue is too high and her attack power has dropped a lot, while another person is seen trying to fight. Someone is tired and says their wish to live to age 70 seems to be ending now. Warrior Zhao Haitian, looking beaten, asks someone to lift the shield and let him try to fight, but a new guy named Lu Feng steps forward. Lu Feng appears shining brightly with his sword, making Zhao Haitian look shocked. Zhao Haitian tries to stop Lu Feng, telling him he is a first-timer with no levels or skills, and will die for nothing. Lu Feng calmly replies that every newcomer has a first battle. Liu Zhu is shocked because the strength of these monsters is stronger than anything they faced before, as they fight back furiously. A huge, scary monster roars loudly, showing its powerful presence. Lu Feng and Liu Zhu are seen standing together on a bright platform, protected from the giant monster below. The group is getting ready to fight, with the little girl giving defense buffs to Liu Zhu, Zhao Haitian, and Anya. Liu Zhu is shining with her defense buff, ready for the fight, while others are also powered up. Liu Zhu and the group shout to fight together against the massive monster. The warrior Zhao Haitian swings his axe at the monster while the fight rages on. The monsters are surrounding them in the ruins of the city. Liu Zhu prepares for a big sword attack against the overwhelming enemy. Lu Feng tells the little girl to lift something up while he stands strong. The little girl activates some power with a happy face, surrounded by a bright light. The little girl's power seems to deflect or block attacks, as swords are seen bouncing off something near the monster's claw. Lu Feng strikes again, sending another powerful slash toward the monster's head. Liu Zhu thinks it might be the end as she is cornered by the massive monster. Lu Feng lands a heavy hit on the monster with his glowing sword. The energy from Lu Feng's sword strike is powerful, shaking the area. Lu Feng has saved Liu Zhu, holding her close as they fall or move quickly. Liu Zhu is falling, and a big slash cuts through the air near them. Liu Zhu is surprised that the new guy saved her and asks how, but Lu Feng tells her there is no time to talk. Lu Feng throws the monster away while holding onto Liu Zhu. Another fast sword move is seen hitting the monster. Lu Feng's attack continues to hit the giant beast. The others are amazed by Lu Feng's speed and skill, asking if he is really just a level 1 rookie. Lu Feng replies, "Not anymore," showing his level has now increased to level 2. Lu Feng moves quickly past the fighting, showing his superior speed. Lu Feng warns them that a bigger wave of thousands of monsters will come soon, so they must leave now. Zhao Haitian is shocked by Lu Feng's warning, wondering if the newcomer is a prophet who can see the future. Lu Feng points the way for them to escape along a flyover. Lu Feng pauses before telling everyone else to follow him. Liu Zhu tells everyone to keep up with the rookie as they rush away from the danger. The group follows Lu Feng, escaping the monsters near the wrecked cars. Liu Zhu asks Lu Feng if he is really a newbie, since he seems to know everything, even though he is only level 2. Lu Feng surprises everyone by saying he knows everything because he has been stuck in this world for 3,000 years. He clarifies that he is stuck on this specific day for 3,000 years and resets every morning when the sun rises, back to the moment they were all transported. Lu Feng continues to fight while explaining his situation. Liu Zhu doesn't believe him and asks why he cares about their lives if he's lived this way for so long. Lu Feng explains that they protected him when he was a rookie in past loops. He reveals that in the past 3,000 years of his endless resets, Liu Zhu and the others died for him over and over again. A sad image shows Lu Feng holding the body of one of them in the rain, emphasizing his repeated losses. He must keep sending them away safely because saving them is his only source of stability in his long, repeating life. But Liu Zhu still thinks he is just flirting. The little girl asks Lu Feng if fighting non-stop for 3,000 years hasn't gotten boring. Lu Feng explains that he hasn't been idle. He has spent the time researching all class changes, skills, and hidden elements of the Shadow World. He also collected information about other Shadow Worlds from other awakened people he met through his loops. Liu Zhu teases him, saying he sounds like the second system of the Shadow World itself, before he tells them to follow the flyover and not look back. Lu Feng directs the group towards safety. The little girl asks if Lu Feng is going to separate from them now. Lu Feng assures them that they are his comrades who have died together countless times. He says they won't part ways until everyone is safe, as he has something else to deal with. Lu Feng steps away from the group, who look on in concern. He tells them to go first and that he will catch up, as monsters are still attacking. Lu Feng faces a massive incoming threat, looking determined. The scene focuses on the purple-hued sky filled with sparks from the battle. Lu Feng is seen fighting massive monsters on the ruins of the city while the others escape. A purple-haired gunsmith Ling Yu is being completely surrounded by monsters, firing wildly from the center of the chaos. Ling Yu cries out that the monsters keep coming no matter how many she kills. She keeps firing her guns, but then the action panel shows her gun firing once, followed by an empty click. Ling Yu realizes she is out of ammo and thinks this is where her life ends, as the monsters close in. Lu Feng suddenly appears above her, seemingly falling from the sky toward the danger. Lu Feng dives down with a powerful attack aimed at the biggest monster. As Lu Feng swoops in, the gunsmith Ling Yu looks up at him in disbelief. Ling Yu asks Lu Feng who he is as he saves her. Lu Feng ignores the question and shouts instructions at her. He tells her to take the elevator to the 13th floor, open safe 1302 for ammo, and the password is 0014. Lu Feng pushes Ling Yu toward the elevator while he stays behind, and she quickly enters the floor number. Ling Yu, now safe in the elevator, asks Lu Feng why he is helping her. Lu Feng steps into the elevator with her, standing guard as the monsters try to follow. Lu Feng simply replies that it is because they are companions. Outside, Lu Feng unleashes a massive, geometrically patterned light attack on the remaining horde. The powerful light cuts through the many monsters surrounding the area. The devastating attack continues to shred the monsters. Lu Feng watches as the darkness and destruction are pushed back by his power. As Lu Feng moves, he notes the time taken for this loop's successful escape, realizing it took 1 minute and 6 seconds, which is 1 second faster than the last 30 years of trying. The people were running from some scary, demonic-looking creatures near a big wall. Monsters were closing in, and everyone seemed to be breathing heavily from the stress. Suddenly, 2 fighters, a woman in armor and a man with an axe, were falling or being thrown down. A young fighter in a black top cried out, worried that the man who told them to run might have tricked them into a tunnel trap. Someone else quickly said they had no choice but to trust the person who led them there. The armored woman looked serious, wondering if the guy who led them here was the one who took a shortcut and arrived early. We see the leader figure ahead, while others are running behind him, perhaps escaping something. The main guy told the others to keep going, saying he would handle whatever was coming. He then looked intently at the worried blonde woman as he prepared something. The scene darkened as a huge crowd of red monsters appeared, seemingly about to attack the lone figure. The protagonist stood calmly before the massive horde, just before the next action begins. He said sorry and then sparked a lighter, declaring that entry would be blocked. A massive explosion erupted right there, engulfing the area in bright orange fire. The fire blast spread out intensely, covering a huge area. The other fighters saw the huge explosion and recognized the guy who caused it, while the woman shouted for them to run and not look back. The smaller girl was covering her face from the blast as the explosion rocked the area. The group of fighters were seen being blown back by the sheer force of the explosion. Back near the tunnel entrance, some of the monsters were still milling around, shocked by the blast. The explosion continued to destroy the monsters, clearing the path. More destruction happened as the explosion hit more targets. One of the monsters got hit hard. The explosion subsided, and the main fighter, wearing the boxer shirt, stood there, assuring the others that the bomb blast was calculated perfectly. An older soldier confirmed that the monsters were gone and the tunnel blocked, urging everyone to follow him to safety. He then told them not to stand around looking stunned and to follow him quickly. The group, including the main character, was now near a cable car system in an area with a beautiful evening sky. The main character pointed out that they were safe once they reached this spot, and then asked the others if they believed him now. The armored woman admitted he was great for a rookie, but still didn't buy the story about repeating the same day for 3,000 years. She added that getting maps and bombs was hard enough, so the time loop story was not convincing. A little girl in a pink hood asked the main guy what else he had done besides fighting in 3,000 years, since that was too long. He explained that it was indeed a very long time, so he learned many things just to pass the time, like flying a jet plane. He continued, listing his skills, writing programs to hack high-security systems, and learning multiple surgical procedures. Next, he showed himself proficient in chess at an expert level, and then mentioned that this dark ruined city had hundreds of awakened people teleported there. The boxer girl then asked if he knew everyone there. He replied that he knew almost everyone and learned their secrets over countless repetitions, but he only considered 4 people as his true companions who fought and died with him many times. The blonde woman was surprised, asking if there were 3 others besides the 4 of them. Then, the little girl in pink said not to listen to his nonsense, as repeating a day for 3,000 years was impossible. The main character sadly said he wished it wasn't true, but they were going to be separated again because of the reset. The blonde woman called him a big liar, reminding him he promised not to go back in time until the sun came out. He just smiled, saying the goddess really had him figured out, and that he was going to send them away safely before his next time repetition. He looked down, and someone wondered why the cable car suddenly started moving. The little girl in red got on the cable car as it began to move through the night sky. The main guy explained that he told them he was a good programmer, and controlling the cable car only needed hacking into the city's electrical system. He then stood there, with the city lights twinkling below. A huge symbol flashed as the scene shifted to an amusement park area at night, with a Ferris wheel visible. A huge, metallic, winged giant with glowing eyes appeared, looking imposing. This was the Black Ruined City boss, the Steel Wing Giant, and it was massive. The Giant stomped down, and people below were shooting at it with guns. The soldiers yelled to fire, firing their rifles at the huge machine monster. The steel-winged giant moved fast, attacking with its wings. The giant roared loudly as it brought down its might. One of the soldiers cried out for help as he was about to be crushed by the monster. The soldiers yelled in panic that the information they had was wrong and told everyone to retreat. A woman in a suit looked on in shock. The suited woman questioned who that figure suddenly appearing was. A huge white energy slash cut through the air, heading toward the giant. The main character was shown moving incredibly fast, cutting through the air. His sword strike was powerful, and below, someone was asking the woman in the suit what she was doing there. The woman was shocked, asking the protagonist, a level 5 rookie, why he was in such a dangerous area while the massive steel-winged giant loomed over them. Protagonist stated calmly that he was there to end this round. He walked toward the giant, which looked down menacingly. The giant reacted quickly to his approach. The protagonist stood tiny before the huge metallic creature, readying his sword. He quickly slashed at the giant's massive fingers as they came down. The suited woman confidently thought the rookie was dead, but then saw the result of his attack. A piece of the giant's hand was cleanly sliced off, showing the impossible power of the strike. The protagonist looked on, and the woman in the suit gasped, asking how this was possible. The woman and the soldier next to her were clearly stunned by the rookie's unexpected power. The protagonist explained that the most vulnerable part of the steel-winged giant's body was the knuckles of the little finger and ring finger of the right hand. He continued that after this part was injured, the giant would quickly transform into its second form. The giant began transforming into its second form, tentacles or large metallic limbs erupting from its body. In its second, more grotesque form, the giant looked ready to attack again. The protagonist was seen attacking this new form, and the woman in the suit realized he seemed to predict all the attacks in advance. She urgently warned him not to let the giant evolve to its third form, the steel wings. She warned that in the third form, the giant could release countless vacuum blades, leading to absolute annihilation for everyone. The protagonist focused, driving his sword deep into a weak spot. His companions were seen attaching to the giant, rotating around a central point of impact. Cracks started appearing on the giant's armor where the sword struck, showing internal damage. The soldiers screamed in distress, and the woman in the suit just stood there, speechless for a moment. The protagonist attacked the revealed control center, which was exposed when the giant was in its vulnerable state. He struck the core hard with his sword, causing more massive damage and energy discharge. A close-up showed the circular control mechanism inside the giant being directly hit. The energy from the hit caused the core mechanism to violently crack and shatter. A massive final shockwave erupted as the giant was destroyed. The protagonist was seen standing firm as the explosion went off, the giant beginning to crumble. A final, massive explosion of orange and yellow light consumed the giant. The intense light faded, signaling the end of the fight. The protagonist stood alone amidst the smoke, and someone wondered if he truly was a god-tier rookie. The woman in the suit and the soldiers were shocked that a level 5 rookie just annihilated the steel-winged giant one-sidedly. A golden sphere appeared, and the protagonist was seen standing next to it, his level seemingly increasing from LV2 to LV9. The golden sphere was the mechanical egg that drops from the steel-winged giant, which is extremely rare, with only a 1 in 100,000 chance. The protagonist looked down at the egg, feeling it was a pity it would be wasted again this time, as the announcement declared the final boss of Dark Ruin City was killed and everyone would be teleported away in 1 minute. A bright golden beam shot up into the sky as the teleportation process began. The remaining survivors watched the light, asking if it was finally over and if the big liar actually sent them away safely. They agreed they would know the truth once they left the shadow world. The two female companions walked off together, stating that if they didn't meet again after returning to their world, then the 3,000-year loop story was true. The protagonist stood with the other survivors, who were now in a different, ice-looking area, as a text box explained that he starts again from the beginning every morning at 6 o'clock or when the boss is defeated. He held the golden egg while standing among the soldiers, who seemed less chaotic now. He bid farewell to his companions as the loop was about to reset. The protagonist's expression turned serious, his face marked with dust or minor injuries. He closed his eyes, preparing for the inevitable reset, stating, "And here comes my next round." Everything fades to gray as the time loop begins its reset sequence. His eyes snapped open wide with shock. He looked around disoriented, asking himself, where am I? The scene shows the protagonist waking up in his own bed in a modern-looking room, holographic interfaces floating above him. He sat up, panting slightly, and looked down at the digital clock on his bedside table, which read 3:23 p.m., November 12, 2065, confirming the reset. A man shouted from the apartment window that he was finally back. Below, a woman walked by the building, seemingly unaware of the commotion above. The main character excitedly remembered the boss's drop, which could hatch a giant creature with steel wings. He was immediately questioned by someone who thought a thief had broken in, wondering when he had returned. After endless days of constant fighting, the man found himself battling a giant, mechanical-looking figure and small, red demons. He moved swiftly, sword in hand, to defend against the surrounding monstrous creatures. The battle in the ruined place with red demon-like creatures and giant swords was finally over. Looking out the window at the city buildings, someone felt a sense of relief after the ordeal. He was happy because he had returned, and he still kept his powerful level. He remembered the boss's drop, an egg that could hatch a giant with steel wings. The young man looked at the glowing blue screen showing his status, Lu Feng, level 9, with no profession or title yet. He could see his current stats like HP, MP, strength, and agility, and he touched the screen with his finger. The man exclaimed in surprise upon returning. He recalled the boss's drop, which could hatch a giant with steel wings. The person exclaimed that they almost forgot about the boss's drop, which was an egg that could hatch a steel-winged giant. They then confidently stated that they knew at least 7 ways to hatch the egg. The character notes that the giant's egg is a rare item with an unknown hatching condition, but confidently states there are at least 7 ways to hatch it. Suddenly, there is a loud knock at the door. The man says he must avoid all stun until he becomes strong enough. He recalls the names of his friends, the Yuazu, Lao Bing, Yinya, and Little Lu, remembering he needs to ensure all of them survive the next dangerous event. The brother asks if the person still remembers him, which implies a long time has passed since they last met. He then mentions that the person made him worry all day because they weren't answering the phone and he almost called the police. The story flashes back to a terrible car accident that took their parents and also hurt someone named Yao Yao. The main character promises to learn medicine and perform surgery on Yao Yao, who rejects the idea, not wanting to be a test subject. The person who returned exclaimed that they missed the other person a lot. The surprised person then asked what the returnee was doing, noting it had only been a day. The person who returned wanted to hold the other for a while, but the one being held protested that it had only been a day and felt embarrassed. The returnee finally agreed to let go and offered to prepare food. The main character was happy to be back and was embracing the woman who missed him greatly. He mentioned that the boss's drop could hatch a giant with steel wings, something he almost forgot about. The man pushed the girl away a little, and she demanded to know where he had been all day. He was reminded of the time he forgot about a boss drop that could hatch a steel-winged giant. The man explained that there was an issue at his workplace which required him to go help, and unfortunately, his phone ran out of battery. The woman in the wheelchair looked upset, clearly having been worried sick about him. The man tells the girl not to be angry because he got his pay, offering to buy the full almighty repair set she wanted. The girl only makes a small sound in response while he shows her something on his phone. The excited person says okay and agrees to let the other person off, promising to prepare food now. The other person joyfully agrees, anticipating a big meal of Sichuan boiled beef, braised fish, and baby lobster. The young man happily agreed to cook the special meal that his companion requested. He then told her that she would eat whatever he decided to prepare. Sibling relationship continued with a playful argument over dinner, where one insisted on eating specific dishes, and the other demanded they eat whatever was cooked. As the chapter begins its next segment, the story shifts to reflect on a tragic car accident that took their parents and left the other sibling injured. The person remembered the boss's drop, an egg that could hatch a steel-winged giant, and joked about knowing many ways to hatch it. Someone else expressed surprise at the return, having worried all day and nearly calling the police because the person was missing. The narrator states that the car accident took their parents and also injured one person's legs. He promises that even if the injured person cannot stand, he will make sure they stand up again. The man remembers that the car accident took their parents and also hurt the other person. He promises that even if they cannot walk, he will make sure they stand up again, even planning to perform the operation himself after learning medicine. The character remembers that the car accident took both their parents and the other person, Yao Yao. He promises to learn medicine and perform the surgery on Yao Yao himself. The young woman washing vegetables shouted for him to go away, saying she did not want to be his test subject for his skills. A man in a white shirt stood behind her, and she seemed quite upset. He remembers the scholar he met in the shadow world who told him about the next transportation to a catastrophe-ranked shadow world. He must make sure all his friends survive this next challenge. The man remembered the promise he made to his sister about her walking again, even though doctors said it was impossible. He confessed that he had been studying medicine and planned to perform the surgery himself. The person speaking is Alston, the leader of the awakened group called ARK, who is known as the Guardian of Hope. He claims to represent justice and promises that all awakeners will one day be free. The hero needed to recall the names of Liu Zhu, Lao Bing, Yinya, and Little Lu. He also learned that the next time people are forcefully moved, it will be to a catastrophe-ranked shadow world, and he must ensure all his friends survive. The narrator reminds the audience that 5 years ago, many dimensional gates appeared, which made the world change a lot. These awakened people gained special powers and could choose to go into the shadow world. People who gain powers can choose to enter the shadow world, but sometimes they are forcefully taken to dangerous unknown worlds. Rumors suggest that all the shadow worlds will only vanish once the god-ranked shadow world is successfully cleared. The person speaking is Alston, the leader of the world's #1 awakening guild called ARK. He is introduced as the Guardian of Hope and a legend among all awakeners. The hero was so happy to be back, but the other person was about to let him go only because he asked nicely. The hero then demanded a very specific and long list of fancy foods to celebrate, while the other person insisted he would eat whatever they cooked. The person being interviewed is Alston, the leader of the ARK guild and known as the Guardian of Hope. He claims to represent justice and promises that all awakened individuals will one day be set free. The character crushes something small in his hand, questioning if the popular hero Alston truly wants liberation for everyone. He thinks that it's just a story the hero wants people to believe. The world is now filled with many people who gained special powers after dimensional gates appeared 5 years ago. These awakened people can choose to enter the shadow world, but sometimes they get dragged into dangerous, unknown worlds instead. The person thinks that Alston's real nature is that of a monster who hunts down awakened people to heal himself. He knows Alston will eventually kill everyone including him and wants to control the world. The terrible truth about Alston is that he is actually a demon. In a dark cycle, he hunted down other awakened people, using their life force to heal himself before killing them all, including the narrator's allies. In a cycle, this person hunted down all the awakened people and used their life force to heal his wounds. He finally killed everyone, including the person speaking now. The villain, with glowing red eyes and a sinister grin, violently choked the terrified woman. He held his staff ready as the scene erupted in a terrifying red glow, signifying some great danger. The man reveals that Alston's real plan is to use his awakened status to take control of the entire world. He must avoid Alston until he becomes strong enough to take him down. The big boss's egg needed attention because it could hatch a giant creature with steel wings. He remembered he knew at least 7 ways to hatch that egg. The person watching the broadcast thought about the true nature of Alston, suspecting he was not a hero. It was revealed that Alston hunted down other awakened people to heal himself, and his real goal was to control the world. He decided he must avoid Alston until he becomes strong enough. He needed to gather his friends Liu Zhu, Lao Bing, Yinya, and Little Lu. To defeat that person, he knew he first needed to set up his own guild. He thought about his friends, Liu Zhu, Lao Bing, Enya, and Little Lu. According to the scholar met in the shadow world, the next time people are forcefully transported, it will be to a catastrophe-ranked shadow world. He needed to make sure all his friends survive this upcoming danger. He remembers that the next time people are pulled into a dangerous place, it will be a catastrophe-ranked shadow world. He absolutely must make sure all his friends stay alive during that time. The individual explained that the food was ready and called for the brother to come and eat. The young man finally remembered the boss's drop, which could hatch a giant with steel wings. He was then asked when he got back and was told he made his worried sibling call the police because he didn't answer the phone. A sudden noise came from the bookshelf area as someone apparently entered the room. The character realized that the boss's dropped item, an egg that could hatch a steel-winged giant, was almost forgotten. The narrator recalled a promise to his sister about making sure she could stand up again after their parents were lost in the car accident. He mentioned learning medicine and surgeries to perform the operation himself, but his sister told him to go away, not wanting to be a test subject. The story starts at the Awakener Support Center, showing a big building in the city. A screen shows a man talking about joining the ARK guild to be under the strongest awakened, Sir Austin. People around are talking about how they don't understand why anyone would make their own guild when they can join ARK, but one person is asked if he is sure about creating his own guild, and he says yes. The person confirms he already sent a web application, which makes others think this level 9 noob is crazy, as most founders are high level. The people explain that to create a guild, an A-rank item from the shadow world is needed as collateral, which a level 9 person probably doesn't even have a D-rank item. The low-level applicant says he doesn't have an A-rank item, but then he shows something else. He reveals an S-rank treasure, a special class item, shocking everyone around him. People wonder how a level 9 noob got such a powerful item, and the staff member instructs him to keep it safe while proceeding with the application. The application requires at least 3 awakened people to respond within 36 hours, or the registration will fail. The staff warns that if it fails, he will lose his collateral item. The main character, having sent out invitations, is determined to get people to join his new guild by any means necessary. The scene briefly shows the sky before moving to the next location. The setting shifts to the Kendo Center in London, where many people are practicing with wooden swords. A very fast practitioner knocks down another person during the practice session. Liu Zhu, looking at her phone after the intense practice, thinks about the guy who claimed to repeat the same day for thousands of years, calling him a big liar. Liu Zhu, catching her breath, receives a notification on her phone. Her phone beeps, showing an invitation from the Breaking Dawn Guild. Meanwhile, Anya is being warned by President and that if she doesn't complete the acquisition of the Huada Gene Company in 3 days, she must leave. Anya nervously agrees with the President. Someone overhears the situation and wonders if it is him, but quickly dismisses the thought as not interested. President Anne is seen looking at her phone with a serious expression. A giant match, clearly advanced technology from the shadow world, is being transported on a flatbed truck, with soldiers guarding it. Yahello tells his soldiers to be careful because the match is shadow world technology and they must escort it safely to the military base. Yahello receives a message on his phone and dismisses it as spam trying to sell him health products. The message on his phone is indeed an invitation from Breaking Dawn Guild, which he seems to be about to reject by tapping the X. Another message pops up on a phone, this one from someone named Ling Yu, stating that deceiving people is bad. The main character sees that all his initial invites were rejected, so he decides to focus on gathering 3 people first. He walks on the street, determined. Some of Charlotte's street gangster-like followers excitedly call out for Big Sister. In a separate inset, some thugs are seen beaten up on the ground near a woman who is busy on her phone. The woman, identified as Awaken as Charlotte, asks what is so great about international thugs. Charlotte stands tall over the thugs, looking unimpressed while her followers look excited. Charlotte declares that even though her minions are just street gangsters, she won't let anyone bully them. She confronts one of the enemy men, who threatens her, but Charlotte seems unfazed. The enemy fires his gun, but the bullets are stopped in midair by an unseen force. Charlotte uses her power to redirect the stopped bullets against the attackers. The bullets change direction, proving her control over psychic power. The enemy who shot is shocked as his attack backfires. The man is sent flying, indicating Charlotte's power. Charlotte warns the remaining enemy not to bother her people again, or she will crush them. The remaining enemy jumps at Charlotte, screaming, but she dodges easily. The attacker is thrown down hard. Charlotte's followers cheer, calling her a god of war and saying the international criminals are nothing to her. Charlotte sighs, telling her group they are always getting into trouble, and then notices someone approaching. The approaching person asks who she is, and the followers identify him as the one inviting her to the Breaking Dawn Guild. Charlotte says a level 9 starting a guild is too crazy for her, even though she likes crazy things. Charlotte tells the main character she is too busy to play with a kid, as level 9 Awakener are nothing to them. Her followers mock the main character, telling him to prove his strength before asking their big sis to join his newbie guild. The main character unleashes a powerful straight punch, sending one of the followers flying away. The powerful punch seems to affect everyone in the vicinity. Charlotte is surprised by the destructive power of his basic punch skill. The main character explains that even basic skills can be destructive if the angle, direction, power, and speed are perfectly adjusted, and he practiced straight punches millions of times out of boredom. He uses a psychic burst, making Charlotte yell at him to stay away. Charlotte tries to defend herself, but the force is overwhelming. Her followers are sent flying by the blast. The main character moves in quickly, stating, "You're." He finishes his thought, too slow, and uses a powerful, blowing sword attack aimed at Charlotte. The image focuses on Charlotte's lower body as the attack comes near. Charlotte protests that it's not fair to sneak attack and demands a fair competition. She suggests a competition using their psychic powers, betting on knocking over cans. The bet is simple: if he knocks over more cans than her, she joins his guild, but if he loses, he becomes her underling. They set up the cans on a car and a dumpster, and the main character takes his position. Charlotte agrees not to go back on her word and goes first, while her excited followers cheer for her to show the punk he messed with the wrong awaken. Charlotte uses her psychic burst, knocking over many cans violently. Her followers celebrate, shouting that she knocked down all 5 central cans, and they bet the rookie will only get 2 or 3. The main character tells one of Charlotte's older followers not to just stand there and surrender. He closes his eyes, concentrating. He opens his eyes with intense focus, activating his basic skill, Psychic Strike. A massive wave of psychic energy radiates from the main character, encompassing the area. Cans are obliterated by his psychic force. More cans are shown being completely destroyed by the intense power. Charlotte's group is stunned, realizing he got every single can without missing one. Charlotte is shocked, wondering how his trash skill Psychic Strike is so overpowered, but the main character reiterates that even basic skills can be perfected. Charlotte accepts her loss, saying a loss is a loss, and agrees to join his guild, asking him to teach her how to master the skill to his level. The main character agrees, promising to make Charlotte the queen of psychic awakeners. He welcomes her to the Breaking Dawn guild with a wave. Charlotte and her remaining stunned followers watch as the main character walks toward the guild entrance. The man, Liu Yao, returns home late and calls out, but only silence greets him. He sighs, wondering where his sister is at this hour. He finds a note saying his brother went to help Uncle Sun's store and reminds him to eat dinner. He muses that she grew up too fast. Liu Yao looks at the note, seemingly thinking about the message. Liu Yao sits down to eat his meal when his phone buzzes with a notification. He sees that an awakened has joined his guild. He texts someone, questioning why they agreed to join a newbie's guild without asking details, and the other person replies it's thanks for saving them. The new member says they can only join temporarily because they have other things to do. Meanwhile, in a cafe, a girl with purple hair, dressed as a maid, is serving drinks, which causes a small commotion. The person texting Liu Yao warns him that knowing too much is bad and to only contact them if needed. Liu Yao replies that he will pull them out of the darkness soon. Back in his apartment, Liu Yao checks his phone again, realizing he has only 4 hours left and only 2 people have joined his guild so far. He wonders who the third person joining will be. The scene suddenly shifts to a dark, rainy city street at night. Heavy rain pours down between tall, dark buildings, creating a gloomy atmosphere. The rain continues over the empty street where a few people are seen walking below. The focus shifts to a young boy being violently attacked and pinned to the ground in the rain. Someone mocks him for being a wimp who doesn't fight back even when robbed and beaten. The attacker notes that they saw his classmates bully him, and he still did nothing. The victim internally screams that he cannot fight back. The victim thinks to himself that he is an awakened, and the attackers are just regular humans. One of the attackers suggests they take him to the black market to sell him for some good money. The 3 bullies stand over the helpless boy lying in the wet street. The boy suddenly starts convulsing, surrounded by a terrifying, dark red, smoky aura. The boy's eyes turn bright red as the text identifies him as Lai Shijin, an awakened, surrounded by this dark energy. A thought flashes through the boy's mind, telling the emerging power to stop and not attack them. A massive, shadowy, fox-like creature with dark fur starts to manifest in the red glow. The monstrous nightmare fox looms large over the terrified boy, Lai Shijin. A dark, swirling vortex appears, and the scene cuts to one of the bullies being sucked into it. A silhouette screams in terror as it is pulled into the dark mass. The people see the monster attacking, and one of the bullies yells for everyone to run away quickly. The chapter title card appears, showing the main characters surrounded by electric energy and various monsters in the background. The chapter title is confirmed as Chapter 03, Nightmare Fox, with translation credits shown. The shadowy Nightmare Fox continues to emerge with great force. The creature lets out a terrifying roar as it fully materializes. The Nightmare Fox appears terrifyingly close to the people, causing them to scream for it to stay away. The monster causes massive destruction, smashing nearby structures. One of the bullies is violently grabbed by the beast. The beast roars in pain or anger, engulfed in red energy. A close-up shows a terrifying, glowing red eye of the beast. The boy, Lai Shijin, is on his knees in the rain, overwhelmed and wondering what is happening. He is crying in despair in the downpour as the destructive energy pulses around him. The Nightmare Fox leaps through the city street, causing more chaos and destruction. Bystanders spot the creature and realize it is a berserk Nightmare Fox, demanding that the other awakened present go and stop it. The other awakened man protests, stating he is only a low-level newbie without a profession and will surely die if he fights a nightmare beast. The main character, now appearing, whistles to get the monster's attention, while the other awakened looks shocked. The main character confronts the massive, enraged nightmare fox. He stands ready, armed with a small knife and a snow shovel, facing the black and red monster. The main character appears calm and ready, with a faint blue energy around him. The nightmare fox attacks, but the main character seems unfazed by its power. The onlookers see the main character intercepting the attack, and one of them points him out as an expert. Another person scoffs, saying he is just a low-level newbie. The monster snarls as the onlookers question why it isn't attacking the supposed newbie. The crowd wonders why the nightmare fox cannot hit the main character. The main character acknowledges the strength of the nightmare fox, thinking that only through countless training sessions was he able to handle it. He knows he needs to end the fight quickly because the beast only gets more enraged with time, so he prepares for an attack. The main character bravely shouts at the giant fox, telling it to follow him. The monster roars again as the fight continues intensely. The main character manages to grab the victim, Lai Shijin, shouting for him to run away because the beast will kill him. Lai Shijin is terrified, watching the main character engage the monster. The main character pulls Lai Shijin into a protective embrace just as the beast lunges. The nightmare fox's massive jaws snap close, right where Lai Shijin was. The main character is holding Lai Shijin aloft, protecting him from the monster's immediate attack. The beast releases a powerful blast of energy. Lai Shijin, held by the main character, stares up at the terrifying, overwhelming visage of the giant, shadowy creature in front of them. The main character remains standing firm against the dark energy. Lai Shijin screams out for the darkness to go away, but the energy is surging around him. The main character holds Lai Shijin up high above the wrecked street as the dark, red-tinged energy swirls around them under the crescent moon. The danger seems to pass for a moment, and the main character tells the still-shaken Lai Shijin that luckily, the beast recognized him. Lai Shijin breathes heavily. Lai Shijin is confused, thinking the beast didn't attack because it recognized him, asking if the beast is actually him. The main character explains that he remembers when the beast first appeared in the shadow world when Lai Shijin was attacked for the first time. He reveals that Lai Shijin summoned it as a level 1 newbie with no profession, and it splits from his body to protect him whenever he is in danger. The main character warns that the more Lai Shijin suffers, the more berserk the beast becomes, leading Lai Shijin to question if that ruthless demon is a part of him. The main character explains that Lai Shijin is not a regular human but a rare awakened, 1 in 10,000, possessing powerful ability that needs control. Otherwise, he might destroy the whole city one day. The vision of the city being destroyed by the immense dark power flashes before the crying boy. The main character reassures the boy that he knows he is strong and can bear anything. He then shows he knows about Lai Shijin being an all-stan fan and collecting figures, asking if he wants to be a hero like him. Lai Shijin is stunned, asking how he knows all this. The main character emotionally declares they are friends who have been through life and death together many times. He asks Lai Shijin to join his guild so he can teach him to control his beast. Under the night sky, Lai Shijin agrees with a hopeful look, saying he will be in the main character's care, and they shake hands. The blue swirling portal to the shadow world is open and ready for action. Someone announces that the D-ranked shadow world is about to start, but they still need 2 more people to begin. A group of people stands waiting, ready for the transfer into the dangerous world. The group is assembled, waiting for the final sign to enter the portal. An older man checks a system notification, and 2 people step forward to join the mission. The main character stands with his companion, looking calm while the others watch them approach the portal. One of the waiting guild members expresses doubt, saying the level G newbie is too weak, even if the level 24 ability user is fine. The level 24 woman defends the main character strongly, saying if he is not allowed, she won't join either. The skeptical guild member wonders why a level 24 awakened person treats a level 9 newbie like a boss. With the slots now filled by the main character and the blue-haired woman, the group is complete and faces the portal. The leader tells everyone that with those 2 joining, all spots are filled, and they have 5 minutes to get ready. 5 minutes pass, and the leader tells everyone they are leaving now as the portal swirls intensely. The group starts moving toward the portal, but one of the members asks the leader about another kid who was supposed to join. The leader explains to his companion that the other kid couldn't come because he had makeup lessons. The scene briefly shows a young man frantically studying, clearly having makeup lessons instead of joining them. The blue-haired woman wonders why anyone would take makeup lessons when the world is getting more dangerous due to the shadow world influence. Another guild member asks the leader why he chose these specific 7 people to join his guild. The leader explains that the next forced transfer will be to a catastrophe rank world, and by being in the same guild, he can ensure everyone's survival by being transported together. A guild member expresses concern, pointing out that the boss is only level 9 and cannot protect them in a catastrophe rank world, but the leader just says they will know soon enough. The group enters the swirling gate, ready to face the shadow world. The members move through the portal one by one, led by the strong-looking bald man. The transfer process completes with the bald man passing through the gateway. The last foot steps through the portal, signaling the group's arrival in the new world. The chapter title page shows the main characters surrounded by dangerous-looking red demons, hinting at what is to come. The chapter is titled Nether Butterflies, and as they arrive, someone reacts to the environment. The bald man exclaims upon arriving, saying it is too cold, wishing he had worn more clothes. The surroundings are immediately shown to be a harsh, snow-covered mountain area with heavy snowfall. The area is identified as the D-rank Shadow World, gray-toned snowfield. The snowy, cold forest trees dominate the view as the group proceeds. The main character sneezes from the cold, and the blue-haired woman shivers, while others also struggle with the temperature. The group starts walking across the snowy landscape, their silhouettes visible against the white ground. The view focuses on the icy, desolate forest surrounding the walking party. The group members leave footprints as they trek single file through the deep snow. Someone asks if anyone has been to this world before, and the bald man replies he does not think so, noting it seems rare and low on resources. The bald man then explains the D-rank rules: kill elite monsters for magic crystals and then defeat the final boss to leave. Just then, someone spots a pretty butterfly. The blue-haired woman spots a bright blue butterfly and reaches out to touch it curiously. As her finger touches the butterfly, it shatters with a loud noise, causing immediate panic among the group members. The shattered butterfly causes a visible, powerful shockwave or attack that hits nearby people. Despite the sudden danger, someone warns everyone to be careful as these butterflies are very dangerous. The bald man looks worried as more butterflies start flying toward them from the trees. A swarm of the glowing blue butterflies descends upon the group, and someone cries out for help. The members scatter in panic as the butterfly swarm closes in, with one person screaming for rescue. One member is shown fleeing desperately from the rapidly approaching swarm of nether butterflies. The butterflies surround the scene as screams echo in the cold air. Suddenly, an ice-like figure appears, seemingly freezing those who came into contact with it. The main character calmly explains that this is the area of nether butterflies, which are attracted to body heat, warning that staying means facing a sea of them. He urgently tells everyone to quickly leave the area, while the bald man notices the newbie and his girlfriend are not moving. Bald man calls the level 9 newbie an idiot, probably frozen in fear, and says they cannot help his girlfriend and must save themselves. The remaining members are fleeing the area, abandoning the main character and the blue-haired woman. The blue-haired woman asks the main character if they are not leaving, thinking he must be waiting for a treasure, but the leader replies it is all for him alone. The blue-haired woman is surprised by this declaration while more butterflies hover near them. The main character suggests using these dangerous creatures as training, which shocks the blue-haired woman. The woman protests, saying she can handle one wave at best, but the main character explains she can only use a mental power burst to attack and must focus on killing only one butterfly at a time. The main character explains the requirement for precision, focusing the attack to kill just one butterfly. The blue-haired woman protests, saying the smallest burst she can manage is the size of an egg, making it impossible to hit individual butterflies in the dense swarm. The main character smiles confidently as a surge of powerful energy manifests around him. He gathers his power, ready to show her what precise control looks like. The energy dissipates, and small, crystallized fragments are seen scattered in the air, suggesting a massive, controlled strike. The main character fires off an attack that seems much more refined than before. The blue-haired woman is utterly stunned, saying she wouldn't believe it if she hadn't seen a beginner-level skill being used with such control. Her expression shows complete shock at the main character's hidden capabilities. The main character advises her to focus on compressing her power burst to the size of a grain of sand, given her talent. He continues explaining that with every compression stage, her control will get better, making her stronger. Next, he tells her she needs to control the path of the burst, emphasizing that speed and angle are also very important. The blue-haired woman retorts that it's easy for him to say, questioning if he thinks she is as crazy as he is, while trying to focus her own power. She struggles to focus her mental power burst, which is still quite large compared to what's needed. She pulls a thin beam of energy, trying to guide it toward a single butterfly. The main character sets the training goal: kill 2,000 butterflies, but warns that if she accidentally kills more than one at a time, 2 more will be added, meaning she now needs to kill 2001, and tells her to get started. The blue-haired woman is overwhelmed by the number and declares she is tired and will rest for a while. The main character immediately stands up and starts moving, telling her not to slack off and to practice properly. He is shown moving quickly into the snow, leaving her behind. The woman calls out to him, telling him to stop joking around as he jumps onto a tree branch. She watches him go, her expression shifting to one of deep thought as she stands alone in the snow. Looking at the overwhelming swarm of butterflies, she wonders if she is supposed to kill them all. She takes a ready stance, looking up at the massive, icy trees, questioning if she can truly complete such a difficult task. A girl is screaming in the snowy woods as bright blue butterflies surround her. She just wants to go home from this scary place. Someone tells the girl, the boss, to move quickly for the sake of God. The boss seems to be trying to rest or recover on the snowy ground. A hand offers a glowing purple potion down to the struggling girl. The girl looks worried, holding the offered potion in her hand, perhaps unsure about drinking it. She quickly drinks the purple liquid down in big gulps. After drinking, the girl screams out loud as the blue butterflies around her seem to react strongly. The girl wonders if the potion the boss gave her was a stealth potion, as she feels something has changed. The boss explains that it was just an F-rank heat resistance potion, which also stops body heat from attracting those butterflies while training. The girl then asks the boss if he already knew they would end up in the Grey Icelands because he brought that potion along. The boss tells her she can ask questions later, but right now, she must not stop her training. The girl explains that the Shadow Gate only shows the rank of the world behind it, and even awakened people cannot know what is actually there. But the boss confidently states that he can tell what is behind the gate because he is equal to 99% of the Shadow World system. The scene suddenly shifts to show a dark, menacing purple energy swirling around demonic figures. A terrifying, horned, shadowy monster appears within the intense purple aura. The shadowy figures surround the viewer as the boss explains that if one lives in the Shadow World for 3,000 years, they can figure out what is behind a gate from small clues. The girl replies that her memory is bad, so even 10,000 years would be useless for her, and she doesn't believe he spent 3,000 years there. The boss stands confidently, illuminated by a strong light, suggesting immense power despite the situation. Back in the icy setting, the girl, looking shocked, tells him to add 6 more years to his supposed time. She yells in frustration about the high death rate in this D-class Shadow World, breathing heavily. The girl curses in anger as she faces something overwhelming. The cold, snowy environment continues around them with falling snow. The view pans over the frosty, barren trees and towering ice mountains. Some fallen fighters and their swords lie scattered in the snow, showing the danger they are in. A bald man wonders why the death rate in this D-class Shadow World is so high, while another person explains that most monsters here have ice attributes, making them hard to fight. Intense lines suggest a powerful incoming attack or pressure. Suddenly, a swarm of giant, red, mantis-like monsters appears, and the bald man warns that they are coming again. Someone shouts for everyone to be careful as the massive threat closes in. A close-up on one of the massive red insect eyes shows its menacing presence. One giant mantis looms over the bald man, showing its terrifying size. The bald man wonders aloud how these creatures got so big while a red, fiery energy appears near another person. A woman swings a glowing red weapon fiercely at the giant insects, looking determined but shocked by their size. The red mantises are attacking from all sides, towering over the fighters. A large piece of a monster or debris flies past in the foreground. The bald man exclaims that there is no end to the monsters, breathing heavily as a huge red mantis stares down at him. The large mantis attacks the bald man. A fighter cries out while being surrounded and attacked by multiple giant red mantises. People are being overwhelmed and hit by the monster's attacks. One person desperately calls for help. A menacing red aura surrounds a monster as the situation looks dire. A close-up of a giant red mantis, looking fierce and ready to strike. The bald man cries out in terror, recognizing the monster as an elite rank void trooper, believing they are all doomed. The bald man looks completely terrified as the background dissolves into static. A sudden burst of blue energy and light appears with sharp sound effects, suggesting a powerful counter-move. The blue-haired girl celebrates with a raised fist, exclaiming that she did it. The girl excitedly asks her boss if he saw her success in killing all the enemies. She looks up, perhaps expecting praise, while the outline of the boss suggests he vanished mid-air. The blue-haired girl realizes the boss is gone and mutters that she knew it, suspecting he has another goal in this shadow world. A large, red mantis looks up toward the mountains as the sound of approach is heard. A group of the large red mantis stand ready, breathing heavily in the cold. The boss stands calmly amidst the remaining, fallen, or injured members of the group, surrounded by the giant red bugs. A pink-haired girl looks on with wide, teary eyes, breathing heavily. The pink-haired girl screams as the red mantis launch a massive coordinated attack on the group. A character is shown reeling from an impact, letting out a sharp cry of pain. The bald man is shown injured, blood coming from his mouth, in extreme distress. The bald man is bent over, seemingly defeated, while the pink-haired girl covers her mouth in fear, surrounded by the giant red mantises. One of the mantises raises a massive limb for a final strike. A fast, slicing motion is shown with immense force. The pink-haired girl is seen sobbing uncontrollably, covering her mouth in despair. Her legs are stuck deep in the snow as she kneels down. The boss reappears mid-air, preparing a powerful strike with a glowing blue blade against one of the giant red mantises. The boss swiftly moves, dodging the mantis' attack and protecting the pink-haired girl underneath him. The boss stands ready, surrounded by the remaining mantises, as a bright blue arc of energy flashes between them. The boss is moving quickly, slicing through the swarm of red mantises. Multiple blue slashes cut through the red mantises in quick succession. The boss moves with incredible speed, his coat flowing as he cuts through the horde of red insects. The pink-haired girl watches in shock, realizing something about the boss's power, with dark liquid seeming to fall near her face. She recognizes the power, asking if the man fighting is that level 9 newbie. The boss attacks the largest mantis, telling it to say goodbye to its head. The boss reaches down toward his sword, moving with intense, dark energy surrounding him. A massive blade descends toward the head of a monster. The monster's limb is shown being severed by a powerful dark slash. The pink-haired girl thanks the newbie for saving her as the boss moves away carrying a bag. The boss dismisses her thanks, saying it was just luck and that he has other things to do, before walking away with the girl trailing him. The scene shows a dark, vertical drop-off from a high cliff edge. The boss stands at the edge of a massive cliff, looking down as a defeated red mantis falls off the edge. A close-up on the boss's determined face as he looks over the edge. The pink-haired girl asks what he is doing, and the boss replies that he is laying down bait. A tremendous roar shakes the environment as something huge emerges from below the cliff. From the dark depths below, massive, segmented blue bodies start to emerge, indicating a much larger creature. The sound of massive scraping or movement comes from the rocky structure below the wall where the two are standing. A colossal, blue centipede-like creature emerges from the darkness, looking immensely powerful. The pink-haired girl is horrified, realizing that the boss has lured out the final boss. The boss calmly corrects her, telling her to look again, because there are two of them. The boss stares down with a serious expression. The boss lands heavily on the ground below the cliff edge. He lands with a heavy thud next to the edge. The world boss, the Frostborn Titan Centipede, appears in a massive blue form, attacking the boss and the girl. A close-up on the massive, icy body of the second world boss, showing its terrifying size and sharp features. A fierce battle is happening in a snowy, rocky place and someone shouts to get back. Suddenly, a giant, scary centipede monster appears with glowing blue eyes and a loud hissing sound. The people fighting look unsure what to do next as the huge creature dominates the scene. A female character tells someone that if they want to stay alive, they should leave that place right now. Then, a young man, looking like a rookie, challenges the situation and asks what the other person is trying to do. The action continues with fast movements as the rookie seems to charge towards the giant monster. The monster roars, showing its massive, sharp teeth in a terrifying close-up. A bright flash of light signals a powerful move being executed. The centipede monster releases sharp ice crystals from its mouth in an attack. Sharp ice shards fly everywhere as the sound of impact fills the air. The rookie swings his sword with great force, meeting the ice attack head-on with a powerful surge. The strong impact sends the ice fragments flying as the rookie drives his attack forward. The character with the sword looks determined, pushing through the cold, sharp onslaught. He continues his attack, hitting the ground with his sword, causing a massive shockwave of energy. The centipede monster reacts violently to the powerful strike against its body. The massive monster writhes as the energy blast swirls around it. A foot stomps down hard as another sound of impact is heard. The rookie seems to have jumped onto the monster's back, continuing his relentless assault. The pink-haired woman watches in disbelief, wondering if the rookie has gone mad since even others couldn't scratch the boss. She is clearly shocked by the rookie's crazy actions. While the rookie readies his sword again, he pulls his sword back for another massive swing amidst the snow. The rookie drives his glowing sword deep into the ground, channeling energy. A huge wave of power erupts from where the sword hit the ground. The monster roars again, reacting to the immense force hitting it. The energy seems to coil around the giant centipede. The monster lets out a final, pained sound as the pressure mounts. The rookie's attack is shown driving straight down with incredible force, hitting the ground hard. The long body of the centipede creature is slammed into the ground by the immense pressure. The monster is struggling against the downward force that is crushing it. The massive body of the frostborn titan centipede lies defeated on the cracked ground. The monster's powerful body is finally broken apart by the final blow. The pink-haired woman is amazed, realizing that these people couldn't even hurt the monster, making her wonder if the rookie is a god-tier awakener. More sounds of crashing and breaking rock echo as the environment reacts to the fight's end. Someone exclaims that the rookie guy is completely crazy for pulling off such a feat. The massive, defeated centipede rests among the rubble in the snowy landscape. A final, loud sound signifies the creature's complete defeat. The rookie seems to yell at the monster to split open as the battle concludes. He lands from his final attack, the sword still glowing. The monster seems to break apart from the sheer force of the attack. The monster's body recoils from the powerful blow with a loud hiss. The rookie stands over the now subdued, massive body of the monster. The ice monster's huge form is finally motionless after the struggle. A large sound effect marks the end of the intense battle. A massive shockwave of light and debris signals the final explosion of energy. The ground shakes one last time from the aftermath of the powerful attack. The rookie stands small on the massive, defeated form of the centipede, the snow still falling. A system message pops up, informing the player that they obtained an rank B item, the Frostblade X1, which has a chance to trigger the Frostbite ability, slowing enemies. The new sword glows brightly, and the rookie thinks that these B-grade weapons are just as good as A-grade ones now that he has decent new equipment. He stands there, holding his new sword, satisfied with the outcome of the fight. A system notification confirms that the boss of the Grey Icelands has been slain. A huge pillar of golden light shoots up into the sky, signaling a successful completion or reward. The pink-haired woman recovers, shocked that she thought the rookie was walking to his death, but he actually defeated the boss monster all by himself. She then wonders why it was so fast, as she still had 15 butterflies left to catch for her tests. Another woman, with light blue hair, stands alone, looking disappointed that her progress on the butterflies was cut short. Outside, the sun seems to be setting or rising brightly over a structure. The successful trio, the rookie, the pink-haired woman, and the blue-haired woman, walk out of the glowing blue portal. Some people outside are shocked to see them emerge. Two men watching are surprised, noting that only 3 people survived this gate challenge. The blue-haired woman expresses annoyance that she almost finished her test, but the main character reassures her, saying she passed and will be stronger next time she enters a shadow world. She happily asks the boss if they will be heading to a new shadow world next. The main character replies that he needs a 2-day rest because he has other things to deal with. A different, older man then appears, questioning the president about firing him after working for the old president for 30 years just because he failed one negotiation. The older man tries to use the company's reputation to threaten the president, asking if she wants to damage the old president's reputation by firing him. The president, sitting by the window overlooking the city lights, dismisses his threat, saying she didn't mean to threaten him that way. The man looks down, realizing he is in trouble. The president, looking serious, reveals she knows about his embezzlement of investment funds from earlier in the year and last year. She states she is too lazy to check the exact amount and suggests having the police investigate. The older man panics, begging the eldest miss for forgiveness and asking her to spare him because of his long service to the old president. The president agrees to forgive him under strict conditions. He must return all stolen money, turn in all his stocks, and use all his property to repay the company's losses. If he does that, she might let him stay in the company's retirement home for free when he gets old. The man is relieved and thankful, calling her Big Miss. After the embezzler leaves, an assistant tells the president that the man who kept claiming to be her companion is finally gone and asks if they should call the police to arrest him. The president says there is no need, calling the man just another pervert, and confidently states she can handle him herself, telling the assistant to get back to work. The president is then seen alone, looking out the window at the night city and the crescent moon while sipping a hot drink. The scene shifts to a busy city street below the tall building. A young man is standing on the sidewalk, excitedly waving his arms and calling out to someone up high. He continues to call out to the person in the window. The president receives a message on her device that reads, "Hey beautiful, you must be staring at me from your window right now, right?" She texts back, saying it's normal to watch out for stalkers, and then tries to logically deduce his appearance based on the day of the week, concluding he must wear black, but then calls him a pervert who only learned a bit of psychology because she has lived for 3,000 years. The president reacts with annoyance and a slight blush, calling the sender a pervert. The young man who sent the message sighs, realizing he failed again, as a message confirms he has been blacklisted. He checks other messages, one from someone on a mission who cannot reply, and another from a younger girl asking for help with math homework before they discuss the guild. He thinks about his absent guild members. Yuazu is in Europe, Tao Tao is in Japan, and Big Bro Zhao's location is unknown. Even the president doesn't want to meet him. He worries because there are only 10 days left before the great catastrophe and wonders how to get them to join his guild, thinking he might need to try something more unorthodox. The night sky was dark, showing a sliver of the moon over some distant mountains. The group arrived at a location, and one member stated that as a nominal member, they did not need to attend official guild events, but also mentioned posting the A-rank mission to the dark web, implying an obligation to be there. One character asked why they were out so late at night, and the boss quickly replied that he brought them there for training. The boss announced their arrival at the destination, which seemed to be a significant place. They had reached a very modern and imposing structure with metallic buildings, looking like some kind of advanced facility. The group stood before a large building, and one of them exclaimed that it was a military base. A character questioned the boss, asking where the other 4 members were since training was supposed to include all of them. Boss casually said the others should be on their way, and then told everyone, "Let's go." Before heading inside, the group moved quickly toward the entrance of the large structure. Standing before the entrance marked NB05, one of the members wondered aloud why there were no people around. The boss explained that he hacked the main system of the base, ensuring nobody would bother them while they trained. Suddenly, a system alert appeared, announcing a quarantine for 15 days due to a hazardous gas leak from the shadow world, forcing all personnel to leave. The boss then declared that the entire base was now their playground. One member was shocked, exclaiming that the boss was a super hacker, joking that besides giving birth, there was nothing the boss couldn't do. The boss explained that since he was stuck in a certain place for too long, he had to learn things like hacking just to pass the endless time. The hacking was successful as a system prompt confirmed the highest level of authority access was granted to him. A hand touched a screen, granting full access, and a large message welcomed them to the NB05 army base. Standing before the entrance again, the boss announced that he hoped everyone was excited for their special training. They were now looking at a sign indicating the next location, the S-65 Astronaut Simulation Training Chamber. The team walked into a large, circular room filled with futuristic-looking pods or simulation units surrounding a central platform. Someone asked what the place was, and the boss clarified that it was a facility for training astronauts. Another person excitedly asked if they were going to space or fighting Martians on Mars, but the boss told them they were overthinking it and were just going to use the equipment for their training. The maid character expressed strong distaste, saying astronaut training was pointless and a waste of time and energy for her. A digital timer showed progression, starting from 000, moving to 10:15, and then 30:00, indicating the duration of the simulation. After a failed attempt, the maid character was shown desperately asking for one more try, certain she could survive this time. The boss informed her that the spaceship she was piloting in the simulation was completely destroyed. The boss then started adjusting the simulation settings, specifically the debris scattering radius, while the maid looked puzzled, asking how he could adjust fixed simulations. The boss explained that while the modes were fixed, he could make minor tweaks by doing a little programming. The maid questioned who he really was, as she didn't believe a normal hacker could do this, prompting the boss to reveal he spent decades studying spaceship engineering and space ecology as a strange hobby. The boss stood on the training platform, ready to continue the session, with holographic body outlines appearing next to him. The boss then mentioned that the experience was exhilarating because of the lack of gravity, rotation, and obstacles, but clarified that he brought them there not to play games but to stimulate and train their mental capacity. The blue-haired member reacted to the intense nature of the training, simply saying, "Okay," with a worried look. Another member, panting heavily and sweating, was asked by someone if he was okay and told not to die, to which he weakly replied that he was fine. The boss explained the two main modes. Survival mode, perfect for psychics as it requires dodging asteroids to train mental strength, and attack mode, which trains focus by shooting targets. The boss looked up toward the ceiling, perhaps overseeing the adjustments or waiting for the next step. He commanded to close the doors as he was starting the second round, while the blue-haired member seemed ready in her station, which displayed attack MO. The system displayed options for the training modes, survival mode, and a combined attack and survival mode, which the boss seemed to be initiating on the struggling participant. With glowing blue eyes, the boss initiated the next phase of the simulation. A loud beep signaled the start of round 2, while below, the characters were shown bracing for impact. The faces of the three team members, the blue-haired girl, the maid, and the panting boy, showed different reactions as the simulation began. Inside the simulation, explosions rocked the cockpit as one member tried to navigate the intense environment. The simulation seemed incredibly rough on the maid character, as she and what looks like a copy of her were shown being violently thrashed by black lions, representing the intense simulation effects. The young boy in the simulation was shown struggling intensely, screaming with effort while hooked up to the machinery. The boss explained that the dual mode pushes both focus and mental state to the limit, which is very beneficial for controlling their ability, reminding them to use breathing techniques. The boy responded with a strain, understood, still clearly struggling with the intense pressure. The tire showed the second round was well underway at 26:58, and the boy inside finally broke down, saying he couldn't go on anymore. The boy collapsed out of the machine, vomiting, and one of the others told him to stop whining and get up for another round. The main character looked down, clearly exhausted, as the team leader insisted they go for another round. The maid reacted in disbelief and pain, asking if the boss was a demon for making them repeat the grueling training. The boy weakly agreed to try his best again. The boss just smiled slightly, telling them that compared to the catastrophic level shadow world they would eventually face, his training was actually quite benevolent. 1 week later, we see a futuristic city skyline, and then the scene shifts to the S-17 recovery room. In the recovery room, 3 people are seen floating in clear tanks filled with glowing liquid. One person's foot touches the ground as the liquid drains away, with a bright light shining. A woman with long purple hair, wearing a maid outfit, wakes up, dripping wet. Someone tells her that she has great recovery speed and it is time to test the results of her training. The purple-haired woman is then led to the S-35 artificial battle arena by the main character. Inside the vast arena, the woman stands ready, determined, as a countdown begins. The countdown reaches 0, showing the intense focus of the purple-haired woman. A figure is seen watching from a control room above, as a hand presses a button to start the session. The test officially begins, and we hear loud sounds signaling the start. Many mechanical, dog-like creatures with glowing eyes charge toward the woman in the arena. The purple-haired woman psychs herself up, ready to face the onslaught of mechanical foes. She immediately starts firing energy beams from her hands, hitting several of the charging creatures. The woman is clearly enjoying the fight, destroying the targets and exclaiming that it is fun. She moves dynamically, continuing to shoot at the robotic dogs surrounding her. One of the enemies explodes in a huge burst of fire from her attack. The intensity rises as the remaining enemies move twice as fast, which is announced to the observer. The surviving mechanical dogs quickly surround the woman, forcing her to be more alert. She uses a powerful stomp to destroy one of the creatures that got too close. The woman spins around, shooting and defending against the multitude of threats coming from all directions. The action continues with rapid movements and continuous attacks from her side. She unleashes a wide-ranging attack, causing multiple explosions among the enemies. After clearing the area, she proudly states that she easily handled them even at twice the speed. The woman stands triumphant amidst the wreckage of the destroyed robots. A screen displays her performance statistics, showing significant improvements in accuracy and speed, but the observer notes she still needs work on controlling recoil after shooting. Next, the scene changes to the S-26 artificial gravity chamber where another woman, with blue hair, is training amidst floating orbs in zero gravity. She seems comfortable in the environment, enjoying the lack of gravity. She effortlessly maneuvers around the large, dark orbs floating in the chamber. The blue-haired woman channels energy, clearly in control of the zero-gravity situation, saying it is a piece of cake. She gathers energy around her as more dark orbs approach. The intensity builds as she prepares to unleash her power against the incoming objects. She calls out for the test to give her everything it has, standing strong amidst the large orbs. Back in the control room, the main character is looking at the data. He tells the blue-haired woman that the previous level of 6 orbs was too easy and decides to increase the number to 40. The blue-haired woman is shocked, exclaiming that 40 is too much and she can probably only handle 10 more. The main character ignores her plea and touches the screen to set the new difficulty. The number 40 flashes brightly on the display, indicating the severe increase in challenge. Suddenly, a huge number of dark orbs rush toward the blue-haired woman in the zero-gravity chamber. She struggles immediately, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of targets approaching her. Facing imminent failure, she dramatically tells her brothers they might have to hold her funeral without a corpse. The main character calmly instructs her to compress her psychic powers to the maximum and release it all at once. The blue-haired woman lets out a powerful shout as her eyes begin to glow intensely. She concentrates all her energy outwards in a burst of blue light. A massive wave of power radiates from her body. This power creates a powerful psychic field that successfully manages to block all 40 incoming objects. The protective psychic field shatters the dark orbs around her as she stands in the center. The force of her successful defense is immense. Feeling successful, the blue-haired woman cheers, calling herself a genius and suggesting they conquer the world. The main character, seeing her success, thinks that she is indeed the expected future queen of psychic awakeness and he will make her the ace of his new guild. The training moves to Chamber 573, the obstacles training chamber, where a young boy is facing small, floating, explosive drones. The boy, surrounded by exploding drones, seems to be using some kind of dark, fox-like spiritual energy with multiple tails to defend himself. The main character guides the boy through complex maneuvers: turn left, duck right, small leap, and then quickly move back. The boy is intensely focused, standing on a platform while surrounded by the dark energy aura. A shadowy wolf-like manifestation of his power attacks one of the drones, causing an explosion. Seeing the danger, the main character yells at the boy to move back quickly. There is a massive explosion as the boy's power interacts with the drones. A huge fireball engulfs the area. The shadowy figure of the wolf is shown collapsing on the ground, surrounded by dark energy, and the boy expresses feeling useless. Dark tendrils swirl around the defeated shadowy manifestation. The boy is shown kneeling, breathing heavily, feeling like he is useless. The main character tells him he has improved tremendously because he used to only last 7 seconds, but now managed to last for 3 minutes. The boy, still catching his breath, thinks that 3 minutes is still too short. The instructor tells him to relax, stating that with enough destructive power, even 3 seconds is enough to kill an opponent. The instructor then declares that the boy has passed the test and it is time to finish for the day. The scene shifts back to the exterior of the facility as the training day ends. The main character thanks everyone for their hard training and dismisses them to go rest. The 3 trainees, the purple-haired maid, the blue-haired woman, and the small boy stand before the instructor. The blue-haired woman is excited, proclaiming she can finally go out and fight real people, while the maid says she has homework to rush. The main character thinks that in 3 days, they will be teleported to a catastrophe-level shadow world, and his current level is too low, so he must level up as much as possible in the remaining 72 hours. Chapter ends with a close-up of the main character standing before a countdown clock showing 7200 remaining.